Okay, sa last part tayo ng ano 'no, ng, fundamental powers. Nasa eminent domain na po tayo. So ito hinuli ko kasi pinakamahaba yung discussion niya sa lahat 'no. So sige, simulan natin 'no. Sa eminent domain po, meron tayong 6 main requisites. Tapos yung second requisite yung taking, meron din siyang sub-requisite. So may kahabaan 'no, may kahabaan yung mga requisites 'no. Pero tandaan niyo, ang pinaka-important talaga na requisite dito is yung taking. Dito nagkakaalaman talaga kung may eminent domain o wala. Kung meron bang valid exercise of police power lang or may eminent domain. Nasa taking po lagi. No? Case to case basis yan. Anyway, sige, let's proceed. No? So, 6 main requisites: private property, taking, public use, public necessity, due process, at saka payment of just compensation. Okay. Valid exercise of eminent domain yan. So, dun tayo sa taking, no? Kasi ito naman talaga tinatanong normally, no? So, what are the requisites of taking? So, there must be an entrance, no, to a private property. The entrance must not be for a momentary period. Kasi kung momentary period lang, no, for a short while lang, hindi naman permanent in nature yung pagpasok ng state do sa property, walang eminent domain. 'Di ba? Kasi ibabalik naman sa'yo. Okay? Next, the entrance must have a warrant or color of legal authority. In other words, dapat duly authorized yung state o yung government, GOCC concerned, no? Like yung NAPOCOR, no? NPC, maraming kaso dyan. Dapat they are empowered by law, no? To enter, no? Or to exercise the power of eminent domain. Next, it must be for public use again, no? So very important. And lastly, the entrance, no, must oust the owner and deprive him of beneficial enjoyment of the property. Pinaka-important yung fifth requisite, no? Kasi diyan po nagkakaalaman talaga kung may taking. Na-deprive ba? Actually, hindi nga oust the owner kasi madaling sabihin pag na-oust yung owner eh. Madaling sabihin, di ba? Wala na siya doon sa property, hindi na siya doon. Hindi na siya doon. So, nagkaroon ng eminent domain. Ang lagi pong parang contentious dito, yung next phrase, yung deprive him of beneficial enjoyment of the property. Yan, tandaan niyo yan. Taking, lagi niyo tatandaan, deprive him of beneficial enjoyment. So may mga kaso po tayo dito showing na kahit na hindi man na-oust talaga yung owner, hindi man talaga siya naalis doon sa property, meron pa ring eminent domain kasi nawala nga yung beneficial enjoyment niya. You need to pee. Ayan. So ito po yung una nating example no sa NPCN yung Napocor versus Gutierrez sa Napocor versus Asoke, no? Sabi po diyan, discovers not only the property traversed by the right of way, actually dapat the right of way ito, by the transmission lines. Ayan. But also the property adjacent to it. So lagyan po natin ng context, no? Alam naman natin normally, sabihin natin, um, may property ka. Pag nilagyan ng, sabihin natin, nilagyan ng, ano eh, sabi ng state, kukunin namin yung portion ng property mo. Siyempre, mako-cover lang po ng eminent domain, yung property lang na kinuha sa'yo. Yung property nasa iyo pa din, hindi naman siya na eminent domain. So, yun ang point ko lang. No? Sabihin natin, kailangan natin yung property mo for road widening. Kailangan natin palakihin ang daan kasi masyado ng matraffic sa lugar na to. Kukunin yung portion ng lugar mo, yun lang ang ma-eminent domain. Di ba yung natira pa doon sa property mo, kung ilang square meters ba yun, iyo pa din yun. So ano po nangyari dito sa NPC cases na to, no? Dito po kasi ang tinatayo ng NPC transmission lines. So electricity to, no? So ako hindi ko naman alam kung ano specifics niyan, ano ang technicalities ng transmission lines, pero alam naman nating kuryente yan. Okay, so sabi po sa NPC versus Spouses Asoke, no? It cannot be gainsaid that NPC's complaint merely involves a simple case of mere passage of transmission lines over Dilao's property, Dilao et al.'s property. Aside from the actual damage done to the property traversed by the transmission line, so basically, sabihin natin 100 square meters ginamit para sa transmission lines. Okay. So alam nating in-eminent domain yun, wala tayong problema ron mga kapatid, 'di ba? Kasi doon na nilagay yung transmission line, walang problema. Okay? Aside from the actual damage done to the property traversed by the transmission lines, the agricultural and economic activity normally undertaken on the entire property is unquestionably restricted and perpetually hampered as the environment is made dangerous to the occupant's life and limb. Kasi nga kuryente yan eh. Di ba? So in that sense, kaya po yan ang sinabi sa case na to. Yung eminent domain in this case, hindi lang po yung transmission lines yung dinaanan kasi walang problema ron. Alam nating na eminent domain yun, di ba? Pero ang problem po dito, nag-extend doon sa buong property nung nung private individual. Yung buong property ang dapat eminent domain, ang dapat binayaran ng just compensation, hindi lang po yung property dinaanan ng transmission line. Why? Kasi po na-deprive yung owner ng beneficial enjoyment. Why na-deprive ng beneficial enjoyment? Because hampered, restricted na po yung owner in using the remaining portion ng property niya. Kasi nga basically hindi na siya, hindi na siya pwede for agricultural and economic activity kasi tinabihan mo ng kuryente. No? Again, I don't know the specifics just sa mga kuryente na yan, pero you get the point. No? So that means po, yung mismong dinaanan ng transmission line, anong tawag doon? Nagkaroon talaga ng ousting of the owner. Ayan, na gusto kong i-point out sa inyo. Yung mismo dinaanan ng transmission line, na-oust talaga si owner doon. Hindi niya na magagamit yun. Yun naman, property adjacent to it, the portion of the property adjacent to the transmission lines, na-deprive naman yung beneficial enjoyment ng owner. So, whether yung portion na napapuntahan ng transmission line at yung portion na na-deprive siya ng beneficial enjoyment, parehong dapat i-eminent domain. So, yung buong property ang i-eminent domain. Ang babayaran dapat ng just compensation. Let's move to the next example. Ito yung mga basic, no? Building a tunnel underneath the property is also taking. Malamang, di ba? Because the owner was deprived of the beneficial enjoyment of the property. How? Hindi na siya makakapaghukay sa ilalim. Di ba? At syempre, kung may tunnel sa ilalim, the owner will be deprived from building a tall building. Hindi na pwede, di ba? Kasi guguho. So, na-deprive siya ng beneficial enjoyment niya. Okay? Enacting an ordinance prohibiting a building which would impair the view of the plaza is also considered taking. Why? Kasi na-deprive ulit yung beneficial enjoyment niya. Again, the owner was restricted, di ba? Was restrained from from constructing a tall building. Same thing there, no? Sa NPC versus Airsoft Sangkay, na-restrain sila from also constructing a tall building kasi nga guguho. In this case naman, hindi sila makapagtayo ng mataas na building kasi may impair daw ng yung view ng plaza. Taking din. So, kailangan may payment of just compensation. You get the point. So, ano po ang pinaka-contentious dito? Deprivation of beneficial enjoyment of the property owner. Okay, let's move to the next requisite. Okay, so sa public use, no, napakasimple lang. No? Public use is one which confers some benefit, utility, or advantage to the public. Hindi ko na nilagay dito yung old understanding of public use at saka yung modern understanding of public use. Hindi na. Let's just focus on the modern understanding. No? Some benefit, utility, or advantage to the public considered as public use. So even if it does not benefit everyone, it only benefits a select group. If it gives them benefit, utility, or advantage, yung select group na to, considered as public use yan. Like halimbawa yung housing para sa mga informal settlers. Hindi naman lahat magbe-benefit diyan, di ba? But it conferred some advantage, some benefit to the public, in this case informal settlers, making it public use. Okay, it's not confined to actual use by the public. Hindi kailangan limited tayo sa parks, no? Hindi kailangan hindi kailangan na everyone will use, no? Okay. Now, when the purpose is terminated or abandoned, the former owner may file a reversion suit to recover the land subject to reimbursement of the payment of just compensation. Actually, mas magulo pa ito. Na-terminate no? Delete na natin yan. Okay? Ano ibig sabihin, ano yung reversion suit na tinutukoy dito? Ito yung action for inverse condemnation na tinatawag or inverse expropriation. No? If hindi po nag-initiate ang state to file the action for expropriation, no? Pwede ang mag-initiate yung private owner, yung property owner. Okay? So if there is no public use, again, what is the remedy? Dapat pala dito natin inilagay, no? Yan, ganyan dapat. Okay. So if hindi po nag-file yung state, pwedeng mag-file ng reversion suit, no? The reversion suit, yan. is called an action for inverse condemnation or inverse expropriation. Okay? O ngayon, paano kung nag-file naman po ang state? Ito tayo sa second scenario. The complaint should be dismissed by the trial court. So, actually, di ba, motion to dismiss is a prohibited motion. No? Pero yan ang sinabi. When the taking of private property is no longer for a public purpose, the expropriation complaint should be dismissed by the trial court. Hence, it must return the property to the private owner subject to whatever damages were incurred in the course of the taking. Well, di ba, motion to dismiss is not it is not sorry no, may nag-pause ako, may tumawag no. It is not prohibited motion sa Rule 15, di ba? Pero sabihin natin, ilagay na lang sa pinaka-pleading, di ba? Ilagay na lang sa pinaka-pleading or i-allege, no? I-manifest sa court stating na hindi na siya ginagamit for public use, no? So something like that, i-dismiss na yan pwedeng i-dismiss na yan ng court. Okay, public necessity naman po tayo. Ito po, hindi na siya masyadong applicable nowadays, yung public necessity. Pero ginamit din siya sa isang kaso, yung kaso nung City of Manila versus Chinese Community of Manila. No? Pero ngayon, normally nagkakatalo na lang talaga sa public use. No? Pero may pagkakaiba po kasi ang public use at saka public necessity. Ang isang bagay po, ang isang expropriation na ginawa, pwedeng may public use pero hindi naman kailangan ng public. So, walang public necessity. So, yung isa po sa requisites ng expropriation ng eminent domain, hindi na comply. So, ganun po, no? Ito, no? Is there a difference between public necessity and public use? The answer is yes, no? Kasi public use simply means there must be some benefit, advantage, or utility that was conferred to the public. Diba? On the other hand, public necessity determines whether the public needs the expropriation. So, it can be beneficial to the public, complying with the requirement of public use. However, kung wala pong public necessity, kung hindi siya kailangan ng public, walang public necessity. So, invalid. As example po, ito po kasi nangyari sa Chinese community case na to, no? Chinese Community of Manila case, no? As example, expropriating a Chinese cemetery to build a road provide some benefit to the public. Tama naman, no? Kasi syempre road yan, public use yun, di ba? It confers some benefit, advantage, utility to the public. However, the expropriation in this case is invalid because it is not necessary. Hindi po kailangan magtayo ng road at the time, no? Hindi kailangan maglagay ng road tapos kukunin natin yung sementeryo para lang sa road, no? Kasi may iba namang roads para makadaan yung tao. So, walang public necessity, no? And actually, it's disrespectful, no? On opinion ko lang, disrespectful siya. Kaya nyo imagine, cemetery, gagawin mong road. So, paano magninilay, di ba? Yung mga namatayan. Di ba? Hindi na. Paano naman silang magninilay kung ginawa mo ng road? Okay? So, yan po, no? So, wala siyang public necessity kasi the public did not need that road. There were other ways para makadaan sa paroroonan. Okay? So, mayroong public use but walang public necessity. Actually, yung public use nga niya, di ba, it's general to the public. Everyone can use that road. However, walang public necessity. So, ito po, no? How can we determine if there was public necessity or not? No? So, when expropriation was exercised by Congress through a law, it's a political question. So, may public necessity daw talaga. Okay? When it is exercised by a delegate, like an LG or a department of the government, through a specific delegation of authority, it is also a political question kasi parang yung Congress din ang enact. Yung Congress din na nag-isip ng public necessity. It's just that the LGU or the department will implement yung kagustuhan ng Congress. And lastly, if it is exercised by the delegate through a general delegation of authority, like halimbawa, binibigyan natin ng power yung LGU para mag-expropriate. Siya na bahala kung ano i-expropriate niya. General delegation of authority po yan. Justiciable question siya. Okay? Pero pag sinabi, we would like this LGU to expropriate the blah 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 na daan doon, na vacant land doon, blah blah blah. Yun nakalagay sa law. It's a specific delegation of authority. Now, it's a political question kasi actually it's the Congress talking. It's just that the delegate, the LGU, the department will implement this one. Something like that. Pero again, no, sa bar, wag kayo masyadong ma-overwhelm dito kasi kung matatanong talaga tayo sa public use. no? Lalo na sa panahon ngayon, everything is a public necessity. Lahat kailangan na road. Aba, lahat kailangan talaga ng road, lalo na sa Metro Manila, 'di ba? Iba yung panahon noon, iba yung panahon ngayon, no? So magkakatalo tayo sa public use and the abandonment of the public use. Okay, next requisite tayo. Just compensation, tandaan nyo ang nababasa lang natin sa case lagi, full and fair. Pag sinabi mong full, dapat hindi installment basis. O, yan. Pag binigay mo, 1 give. O, pag sinabi mong fair, yun yung totoong ano, di ba? Yun yung totoong actually definition ng just compensation kasi it has to be consummate, consummate, commensurate doon sa value nung kinuhang property. Consummate, no? Commensurate, no? Dapat equivalent siya. Okay? Pero tandaan nyo, may pangatlo pang adjective for this one. Prompt. It must be full, hindi siya installment. It must be fair, commensurate. It must be prompt. Hindi siya delay ang pagbabayad ng just compensation. If one of the three, wala pong just compensation na naganap. Like halimbawa, full and fair pero hindi naman mabilis yung pagbabayad. May problema tayo dyan. Pwede mag-file ng, actually, kung wala pang kaso, pwede mag-file ng action for inverse condemnation, di ba? Para i-demand sa court, para yung court na mismo ang mag-enforce nung, basically may tulong na sa court para maibigay yung just compensation. So what is the remedy of the property owner? Ito na nga yun. If the state failed to pay just compensation, inverse condemnation, no? Payment of just compensation and damages. So in the inverse expropriation case, nagdagdag na tayo ng konting elements, no, sa remedial law. In the inverse expropriation case, kasi alam naman natin under Rule 67, may tinatawag tayo na commissioners, di ba? Yung unang stage, i-determine if may right to expropriate, di ba? Pangalawang stage, i-determine yung just compensation, di ba? To determine yung just compensation, magkakaroon po ng 3 commissioners under Rule 67. Ngayon, pag nag-file tayo ng action for inverse condemnation or inverse expropriation, kailangan pa ba ng 3 commissioners? Or pwedeng yung evidence presented lang nung plaintiff? Yes. Pwedeng yung evidence lang na pinresent ng plaintiff. Why? If in an inverse expropriation case kasi, the expropriator violated the procedural requirements. Di ba? Yung state na mismo ang nag-violate ng procedural requirements. Hence, it waived the usual procedure prescribed in Rule 67. This includes the appointment of commissioners to a certain just compensation. Actually, throwback na lang tayo ng konti. Pag tinanong ka, nag-file ng action for inverse condemnation yung plaintiff. Sabi ng state, this case must be dismissed because the state did not waive its consent. It did not waive its immunity from suit. Or the state did not give its consent, diba, to the suit. Something like that. Ganun ang tanong. How would you answer that? Ang sagot po dyan is, state immunity should not be used to perpetuate injustice. Yan po yung point na yun. Amigable versus Cuenca. No? Yan yun. No? Ito-throwback ko lang ng konti. Yan yung isang exception sa state immunity from suit. Immunity of the state from suit. Ulitin ko, state immunity should not be used to perpetuate injustice. What's the injustice what we're talking about here? Taking property without just compensation. Yun po yun. Sana malinaw, no? Yan, no? Tinroba ko lang. No? Sige. If there is no payment of just compensation, can the property owner recover the land expropriated? Ulitin ko ha, ang problem po, hindi nagbayad ng just compensation. But the use was not abandoned. The public use was not abandoned. Ginagamit talaga yung lupa ng publiko. Tanong, pwede bang i-recover pa nung private property owner yung property niya? Hindi na. No? It is neither convenient nor feasible if the land is already used for a public purpose. So the only relief available to the plaintiff is to pay. To recover. Okay, just compensation. Mali ako doon. Okay. When can the property owner recover the land? If inabandon yung public use. Okay. Due process, okay, Rule 67, no? So, okay na tayo dyan, no? Hindi naman to topic for political law. Natakil na natin yan sa special civil action, sa remedial law. So, balikan na lang natin yung discussion for that. How do we determine if the governmental act is an exercise of eminent domain or police power? General rule, in police power, there must be no taking. So nagkakatalo po tayo saan? Kaya nga sinabi ko na sa inyo kanina 'no, meron na akong preview kanina sinabi, inulit ko pa ngayon. Tandaan niyo ang pinaka-important na requisite diyan yung taking. Why? Kasi taking will determine kung police power yung ginawa or eminent domain. Like halimbawa yung ano, tackle natin sa police power nung unang video 'no, yung mall owners, mall operator, sabi bawal kayong mag-charge ng parking fees sa mga parking facilities niyo. Is this an exercise of police power or eminent domain? Eminent domain na yan kasi tinake natin yung basically property nung mall operator. 'Di ba? Basically yung lupa nila naging ng public ano, public property na basically anyone can park there for free. Oh, making it an exercise of eminent domain. So kung hindi natin bibigyan ng just compensation yung mall operators for that parking facility, nagkaroon po ng unconstitutional act kasi nagkaroon ng taking without just compensation. Nasa Bill of Rights din yan, di ba? Okay, so yan. Taking po ang pinaka-important. If there was no taking, police power, regulation lang kasi yun. Oh, di ba? Ayan yun. Regulation lang. If there was taking, eminent domain siya. May isa po exception. If the purpose of the taking is to destroy a harmful or an obnoxious property to the public, it is an exercise of police power. Anong example? Yung rabid dog on the loose. Rabid dog on the loose. Alam natin ngayon na medyo rampant yung mga nagkabalita sa rabies ngayon. Sabihin natin may asong ano no, nagkokos ng trouble, disturbance kasi talagang tinatahulan lahat tapos nangangagat ng tanod, nangangagat ng mga tao sa neighborhood. Pwede na siyang i-take ng state. Of course, alam na natin ang gagawin diyan, 'di ba? Obserbahan 'yan. Puwedeng, siyempre puwedeng i-ano, i-put down puwede kasi siyempre kung may rabies talaga, fatal 'yan sa ibang mga aso, sa ibang mga tao, no? So 'yan, nagkaroon po ng taking, not because we want to take it for some benefit, advantage, or utility, but we took it to destroy a harmful or obnoxious property, making it an exercise of police power. It's despite there being taking. Okay? So it is important to distinguish them because of ba't gano'n? Hindi na kailangan 'yan, 'wag na 'to. Okey.